right? Oh, perfect timing, right after we go over Lake Lanier. Welcome. We are going to Woody Gap today. That's right, Woody Gap on the AT in Georgia. We're gonna do Woody Gap to Blood Mountain, about 10 miles. I'm not quite sure what the elevation gain is. I haven't really done that much research on the whole thing. I'll show it, don't worry. I just know it's about 10 miles and there's the cops, a lot of cops out today. Yeah, about 10 miles, probably, I'm gonna say 2,000 feet of elevation gain. The goal, start at Woody Gap, hike to Blood Mountain, camp at Blood Mountain, hopefully get some good pictures of, you know, the sunset and you know, just the mountain views. After that, there's a meteor shower tonight. So I'm hoping that the skies are clear and that there's a good view of the sky above me, so I can get a good view of the meteor shower. It's supposed to be pretty colorful. So it's around midnight. I don't really want to stay up that late, but you know, it's a meteor shower. You don't get to see that, especially don't get to see that in the mountains very much. So you know, you gotta take advantage of it while you can. There are some goals for this trip, actually. I do have some plans of what I want to accomplish. I'll turn off the AC, so hopefully it's not too loud for you. The first thing I want to accomplish is determine how much water I use per day, minus cooking. I brought some food that doesn't need to be cooked, so I'll just eat it and not waste any water. Because whenever I hike, I drink a lot of water, and I always overpack my water, and that's because I drink a lot of water, but I also think I drink a lot of water because I pack so much water. So it's just positive feedback loop where I just keep, it's just a horrible cycle. So I brought 3 liters plus 2 water bottles full, so I have plenty of water. Now the question is, how much of that will I actually drink? If I can cut down on water weight, that would be really nice. Especially the AT has a lot of water sources along the way, so I'm not really worried about that. But I do want to do some, not through hikes, but longer hikes where I might not, on different trails where I might not have a lot of water. So it'd be nice to know how much water I drink per day and how much I need to bring. So that's number 1 on the list of things I want to accomplish. Number 2 on the list is I want to find ways to reduce pack size and pack weight. Because right now, I think my pack's sitting at about, like, I don't know, 35 pounds, 30 pounds. I can still curl it, and I think that's always a good test to see if it's heavy. If it's too heavy, is if you can curl the weight, curl the pack. I can still curl it. I'm gonna run this light. I definitely should not have done this. Whoopsies! Don't come after me, coppers. It was that weird distance. But yeah, I mean, my number 1 problem, and it pains me to say that this is my number 1 problem, is my amazing tent. I love this tent so much. It's like a budget Walmart tent. It's my, I would die for this tent. The problem with it is it weighs probably about 8 pounds. It is a significant part of my base weight. And it weighs about 8 pounds, and it also is a cylinder that's about 8 inches in diameter and about 3 feet long. It is ginormous. It is not a backpacking backpack, but it's super waterproof. It's amazing. I have never had a problem with this tent besides its weight and besides its size. So it pains me to say that it needs to go. It's not meant for backpacking. So I think if I can reduce that, I will significantly reduce the weight and size of my base gear. So, but then, yeah, also going along with that, number 2, finding other things besides the tent, because I know the tent needs to go. And now that I actually have a job, I can afford to get new gear, or at least better gear. So, yeah, find things that I would like to replace with lighter and smaller objects, because my base weight, or just my pack weight, is too heavy. It just doesn't. There's no reason with the stuff that I'm bringing I should be at 35 pounds personally. So this road did not tell me it was going to end right there. So yep, that's number 2. Number 3 on what I want to do is have fun, because why do it if you don't have fun? You know, it doesn't matter what you're doing, but you should have fun while you do it. That's a big aspect of doing things. Even working, you know, you should at the very least find enjoyment or fulfillment in what you do. Even if it's boring, even if it's not the most fun thing. Why is there another cob? I've seen so many cobs, dog. Even if it's not the most fun, even if it's not, you know, the most exciting job, you should at least look forward to it. And that sounds crazy to me, or it sounds crazy to say, but it's true. You should look forward to what you do, because you're gonna do, that's the thing you're gonna do most. So you might as well find something you do that you can tolerate and maybe find some enjoyment out of. Yeah, with that, I got nothing else to say. Pause. What on earth is that? Zoom in. Enhance. This is Don Julio. Don Julio is a T-Rex. I got him a couple months ago from Walmart, and he comes with me everywhere. To work, to the gym, on backpacking trips. He will probably make a lot of future appearances in the coming YouTube videos. So be on the lookout for Don Julio. Unpause. Oh my God, look at this fella. Look at him. This is a millipede? Okay, so we literally just hit 1 mile in about 30 minutes. But check out these rocks. Look at them. I was thinking this might be like a bouldering spot, but it looks like they're blocking off kind of the trail that leads up to it. So maybe not, but I mean, cool rocks. And I stopped here at 1 mile just to stretch and, you know, loosen up for the next 9. And I think I'll stop for lunch at Preacher's Rock or something. I don't know. It's the mountain I'm climbing right now. Up there. The first mountain views. So this is a really good example of crown something. I can't remember what it's called, but if you look, none of the trees, the crown of the trees are touching or overlapping. You have this kind of like gap right here. And it's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever really noticed that, but yeah, it's definitely apparent right there. All right, it's 11:05. I've got about 2.5 miles and hiked for like 1 hour 40 minutes. And I'm just thinking, I've thought this thought before, how quiet the forest is. You know, you go from, you know, suburbia or even the city, and you hear all these birds and they're chirping and they're like so loud that they wake you up in the morning. But then you come here and nothing. I did hear one bird actually, so I take it back. There's nothing, not nothing. But so it's interesting, you know, you have all of these wilderness, and yet those birds. And I was trying to think of some reasons why that's the case. And I think the one that I've settled on is because you have all of this greenery, why on earth would the birds be next to you, you know? I think the birds just don't want to be around you. I think they have so much space that they're spread out more. Whereas in suburbia or in the city, they are extremely limited in their tree choices, and so they're going to have to choose the ones near you. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what I've kind of decided. But let me know what you think in the comments. So I'd be curious to hear other people's theories. These trees kind of look like they're cannons mounted on a battleship, you know? Something like that. Look at this mushroom. That is crazy. I love it. Thumbs up. Looky, looky, we have a wooden bridge and another little stream. We're at 3.63 miles, 2 hours and 8 minutes. I'm gonna just kind of hang out here, maybe get a little snack, and then we'll keep going. So besides my rusted knife, I have baby Genoa salami. Yeah, I guess the plan is just to chomp down on it. This is also dinner tomorrow, or tonight, so I gotta save it. And I also have Old Crock extra sharp cheddar cheese. So for lunch, I wanted to talk about something that I was thinking about throughout kind of that whole hike. And that is, do you need ultralight? Oh, this is good, but a bit softer than I was expecting it to be. I don't know how good this will continue to be. But so, what I wanted to talk about was how light does your gear need to be at like different levels of backpacking. Now, when I started, and I still have all this stuff, that's why I'm doing this trip kind of, I got a bunch of, you know, I got a good backpack. I got an Osprey backpack. But I got a lot of cheaper gear, like a cheaper tent, a cheaper sleeping pad, sleeping bag, all that stuff. And I've slowly upgraded as I've used it, and I think that's really important. I think the process of not liking something is extremely important. I think it helps you figure out what you do want. Because if I went out and I spent $5,000 on gear right out the bag, I could have had absolutely no problems. I could have said, wow, this is all amazing. But you never refine your taste because you don't really know what you don't like. So now that I have this really cheap tent, I'm like, okay, I know I want lighter, I want smaller. And because I've used this crappy tent in backpacking terms for a while, I know, okay, I want a freestanding tent. I don't want a tent that I need to kind of prop up with my trekking poles or anything. I just want a tent I can put up, which means I'm gonna have to have a little bit heavier of a weight because I need it to have poles. And I'm gonna have a little bit heavier, larger of a size because I need those poles. Now, I could have said, hey, I'm gonna get a tent that is trekking pole supported right from the get-go, spent, you know, $800 on it, and probably never had any problems. But now it's like, okay, I actually really do enjoy this much more than I would having to stake my trekking poles in there. So I do think it's important, if you're a beginner, don't drop $5,000 on gear. You don't need to. That's not, don't do that.
Go buy used gear, go to Walmart. The Walmart gear is really good. It will do exactly what you want it to, and it's pretty reliable. Then you go backpacking, you know, 6 times or so, a couple overnights, a couple multi-nights, and you say, okay, well, that tent sucks. You know, I hate my tent. Let me buy a new tent. And now I know exactly what I want out of my tent. I think that trying out process is crucial to figuring out what you as a hiker want, not what Mr. Ultra Marathon, ultra runner wants, or what, hey, is that quartz? Oh my God, it's quartz. It's crazy. Or what, you know, Mr. Ultralight thru hiker wants. I'm not an ultralight thru hiker. I'm gonna do maybe a week trip at a time. I don't need my base, I don't need my whole pack weight under 15 pounds. I don't mind carrying, I mean, I have a freaking dinosaur on my backpack. I don't mind carrying extra weight, but I want the weight that I carry to be meaningful, to be the weight that I want to carry. Now, you might go backpacking a couple times and say, dude, I cannot have weight on my back. I just, you know, my knees, my joints, whatever, I just can't do it. And then you say, okay, well, here, let me, I mean, you're gonna have to spend more money. Let me go drop, you know, a couple more $100 on lighter gear. But at least you've tried it. At least you know that it doesn't work. Because you might try the Walmart stuff and say, hey, for what I'm using this for, I have no problems, you know? And you save yourself, you know, $1,000 to $1,500. And it's the same thing with like your Garmin watches. Garmin got rid of the 4Runner 45. That's all I want. I don't need a touchscreen interface. I don't need sleep tracking. I just want to know how far I've gone, how long I've been gone, and maybe, you know, my pace is nice to know. I know I'm not the biggest utilizer of it, but it's nice to know. So I guess the moral of the story is, when you're, as a beginner, get gear that's cheap. It could, and it doesn't even have to be like Temu level quality. Go to Facebook Marketplace. I'm sure someone's selling a nice backpack for maybe $50. I'm sure someone's selling a nice tent for maybe $100. You know, and that is high quality gear. Sure, it's used. Sure, it might not be in pristine condition, but you know, look over it, make sure there's no holes, make sure there's no blah 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 blah. And then you have a really good gear for a lot cheaper than retail price. And you can figure out what exactly you want. You can fine tune your taste. It's I use a car analogy, I think is the best way to put it. As a 2002 Ford F-150 that I just bought has soul, it has character. There's a lot wrong with that car, and there's a way you need to drive it. It's got 200,000 miles on it. I have to drive that car in a specific way because I can't go over 65 miles an hour because my wheel will lock up. But I have a 2018 Honda Elantra that I could go 150 miles an hour, don't ask me how I know, and feel like I'm going 50. Atlanta PD has me on lockdown. And so, yeah, that used car, I have never had a problem with it. The biggest problem I had was after like 5 years of ownership, the battery died. That's exactly what I was expecting to happen. I've never had any problems. I got one flat tire, but that's not the car's fault. Blah, blah, blah. No problems. This truck, I've had it for a lot less time, and I've had a lot more problems. But I learned, okay, I don't like this aspect of driving as much as this aspect. Yeah, I'm rambling now, but you get the idea. Don't let the fanciest advertisement, including YouTubers, don't let YouTubers tell you what you should get. Get the cheap stuff and work your way up. That's the way it should be done. That's the way it's supposed to be done. And yeah, end segment.
The grind has started. I'm officially going uphill on Blood Mountain. So this might be last time you hear from me for a little while. I might stop for a later snack lunch thing maybe. We'll see how the terrain goes. Gerard Gap, woo! I think I'll stop here, get some water and some food in me, and then we'll keep marching on. I'm still at Gerard Gap. I hope you can hear this. I feel like I'm in the Monty Python scene where the guys are guarding the castle and they hear like a bunch of construction noise going on. They're like, what's going on? But they don't do anything. Oh, here it comes. I think it's a car, but it's been this like banging. Oh, here it is. Here it is. All right, we got a ditch witch. Oh, we got another one coming. This is just a car. I didn't realize this was like a road. Yeah, I did not realize that that was like a road. I had my stuff all scattered throughout there. So I'm glad I moved. But yeah, it was like that Monty Python scene. I just heard him coming and coming, knocking and knocking. I'm like, what is going on out there? Okay, it's the final rest before the last mile push. It's the steepest part of the trail. So I'm just taking some time. It's only like 2:30, so I got plenty of time to get up there. I'm not really worried. So just resting, hanging out. One thing I am surprised about is the lack of people I've seen. There's been a few throughout the trail, but really, I'm the only one I know going this way. So I wonder if I'll have an empty campsite tonight. Find out. Well, good morning. We're heading back down from Blood Mountain. I did not film anything at the top. I took some pictures, so I'll probably post the pictures here. But you know, sometimes you finish your hike, you get to the top, and there's some really amazing people there. And you know, you don't want to ruin the moment, and so you spend the whole time talking with them, hiking with them. We went back down to get some water. And you know, it's just a really beautiful moment, really great people. And you know, I could have gone off and, you know, pitched my tent separately and, you know, been alone. But, you know, as I was hiking yesterday, I kind of paused for a moment down at that bottom, right before hiking up Blood Mountain. And I was like, you know, I wish I could share this with someone. And I had that opportunity last night, and so you got to take advantage of it when you can. And yeah, so I'm sorry I couldn't film anything for you, but it was a beautiful, great evening and morning. These people only hike at night, so they gave us a lot of their food. We had a big old dinner, and at midnight they saddled up their packs and went down the mountain. You know, I enjoyed that. I thought that's unique, that's special. I hope they make it home all right. So I'm gonna hike down. I literally just got off the summit. So we're gonna hike down and make it home. And it'll be here for the rest of the trip probably. Now the one complaint I do have about Blood Mountain is that this is our drinking fountain, and it's all the way, oh, I just got my pants all wet, and it's all the way at the bottom of the mountain. So you have to come down, all the way down, fill up your bottles off a trickle, and then go all the way back up. So that kind of sucks. Ooh. All right. I'm out of water too. I think, oh, for the day, I had about, I think 5 liters total. It's a hot, humid day yesterday. So I think 5 liters is a good amount of water for me to bring. And then, well, I think I could bring 3 liters, especially if I know there's going to be water. And then that's okay. 5 liters, I think, if there's no water on the trail. So, yeah, I'm glad I figured that out.